Francis Rodino, welcome to Focus on the Fun Stuff.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's going to be exciting today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about marketing, lead generation, automation, AI, I suspect, which is the hot topic at the moment.
Yep.
So Francis, you're a business owner, you're an award-winning business owner, you're an author. We're going to talk about the book, Leads Machine. And you are, for me, you help entrepreneurs leverage automation and marketing and lead generation in their business.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of us just don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. We help small and medium-sized businesses grow and scale online with automated sales funnels. And it used to be all about marketing automation. Now it's more about automation and AI, because AI is really starting to pick up the heavy lifting and extend what automation can do. And ultimately, it's relevant to everyone.
Yeah.
This podcast, your viewers as well, because ultimately, what do we want is leverage.
Yeah.
We want the tech to do the heavy lifting, right? And now AI is making that, faster, more efficient, cheaper than ever. And maybe there's some pros and cons because we're kind of in a bit of a wild west, figuring it out. How do we use this stuff, not just in business, but in life?
And you're a Go High Level expert partner?
Yeah, well, we use, High Level is a CRM. It's actually, it used to be a lot less known than your HubSpot, than your Salesforce.
Yeah, but it's just blown up, hasn't it?
It's blown up, yeah, because it's an all-in-one software that just kind of took the best-in-class features of a lot of different softwares that were doing the thing, meaning, looking at the end-to-end system about, how leads are attracted and then go into your system, then nurtured and follow up, and how it ties into your marketing. And before, the problem was that it was actually quite expensive and time-consuming to duct tape together many different pieces of software. And High Level, they just saw a gap in the market where they started saying, we're going to build out in our software all of the different components that you might need. And I came onto High Level. I was one of their earlier adopters in my entrepreneurial journey. I actually built my business on top of High Level and using High Level to service our clients. And so I have a sweet spot for that platform, but also the relationships I've built with their founders, which Sean Clark, Robin, and Varun. They were three guys, right, that came together, and back in 2017-18, they were the ones hopping on support calls with me, trying to figure things out. And because I'm also a little bit technically inclined, High Level, it's still got a very steep learning curve as a platform. Like, you can use most businesses that have a High Level account, your 99% of businesses, they see it just as a glorified MailChimp, right? Or just it's a place where you can send follow-up emails to people. But actually, for those, it's flexibility and the capability to extend it far beyond and integrate now, other automation tools and advertising platforms and, OpenAI. You can actually, I see it more as an operating system. It's a business operating system where, if you can imagine it, you can use High Level at the core, like your Star Trek Enterprise cockpit, and then kind of build in what you need. So it can be for marketing, but it can be for operations or fulfillment or recruitment or for onboarding.
Or courses as well. I only realized that the other day.
Courses, social media. But it's really what the opportunity was for marketing agencies, and still is to a certain extent, because you can build systems for businesses with High Level as essentially your foundation. So if you have a problem that you can identify in the market and think, okay, well, how do I solve this problem? Well, chances are you could use High Level to build out this system for a particular niche, maybe joining in a couple of different tools or software, and then that becomes almost your IP to a certain extent. Yes, you're using other people's software, but the way you've used the tool, right? The outcome is different.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and so I'm kind of jumping the gun here. I talk about it in my book. We got right into it, but that's what we do as a business, is actually consult and build out unique proprietary systems for businesses, that have just different needs to automate and be more efficient and free up their time and get more out of their marketing. So, it's an exciting space.
Really exciting. This is going to be so useful, because I even know so many of our clients are using Go High Level in various ways into different kinds of businesses. So we're going to get stuck into it. But just like so your business is called Lead Hero, just pre-Lead Hero. So you said that you're actually, you've joined entrepreneurship later in life. Like, how did you get to this point?
You say joined entrepreneurship like it's a club. I joined the club of entrepreneurs. Yes, it does feel a little bit.
It is a weird club, isn't it? And actually, it's very small. Do you not think, like, I know there's probably hundreds of thousands of business owners, but actually, when you start going into the groups and it's all the same people in the different groups.
Yes, absolutely. And it's incestuous. It's small. Your reputation is everything, your identity, and sticking it out, being there consistently, I think is just really important in entrepreneurship. And, I think that we all have a camaraderie and a lot of respect for each other, no matter what you do. I respect entrepreneurs at all levels, because it's not easy. No. It's not easy to run your own business. It's not easy to stay in the game. In fact, most don't survive 5 years. Yeah. So every year there's like a culling of the entrepreneur, and I'm grateful. Our business is doing great. We've been now 7 years in, and we've kind of defied the odds. Actually. So if you're in the game and you are playing, you are already ahead.
I love that.
Of many others.
Yeah, totally.
To acknowledge it, and if you can get up every morning and be your own boss, you're an entrepreneur. That's you've achieved the time free. Well, I think that there's different kind of levels or criteria where you can think about where you are in your business and go, am I an entrepreneur? And I think for me, being an entrepreneur kind of meant not having a boss to report to. That was like milestone one. It wasn't the money, the success, the traveling, the Lamborghinis. It was actually, do I have to justify what I'm doing to anybody else? And you get that immediately. But it's a great feeling, especially for someone like me, that I had never been an entrepreneur until my early 40s.
Okay.
So I didn't know the first thing about the market.
Yeah.
What to sell, who to sell to, what is selling, how to sell, finding my niche, the product market fit. Yeah. The systems and recruitment, building a team, I had no idea. And the first couple of years were just really trying to stay above water, really just figuring it out and putting everything, and I mean everything, like financial resources, my time, my effort, passion, and focus into figuring it out. Like the first couple of years was just like, how am I going to make entrepreneurship work? Later on in life, when there's all kinds of pressures, maybe pressures that you put on yourself, but also come from culture or your parents and society about like where you should be in life, how much, the car you drive, where you live, and what kids what schools your kids are going through. And I think the greatest thing about entrepreneurship is really learning how that's all bullshit. What other people think you must do and be. It's all you learn through developing your mindset and personal growth and all that. You learn actually to let all of that go.
Yeah.
And that is a very liberating feeling. When you do, anything is possible. When you stop living for other people, the way that society might say, well, you need to be in this job, or why you're leaving your job,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was in senior level leadership roles in London and in top agencies, Omnicom Media Group. I worked on big campaigns for the Olympics, PlayStation, Citroën, and multi-million-pound global campaigns. BBC for 10 years. And the experience is great, but I always felt like I was kind of in the wrong shoes.
Oh, really?
I was living the wrong career. I remember I was Daniel Priestley, one of I think our great friends and mentors. I was talking to him about this, and he said once, like, what was it that you were really seeking that you were not getting, right? And I had a long, deep think about it, and what came out from that discussion with him was that in my career I was seeking recognition, right? Recognition and sort of validation. And I think that's one of the things that was the most frustrating about 20 years in corporate, is how, especially like once you learn your craft, surviving and thriving in corporate environment became more about playing a game and justifying your existence in the corporation, rather than actually putting your energy into productivity, and positive outcomes. It just became a lot less about that. And I guess when I hit my early 40s, 40s is kind of like a milestone for a lot of people, because you get to a point where you've built skills, you have a tremendous amount of experience, you've created value for other people, and that's really what corporate is. You're actually creating value, producing value for other people, your bosses or the corporate, the business. And when I hit 40, you kind of realize, hold on, well, you don't have all the time that you used to have to try things out and make mistakes and recover, and life gets more precious. The way you spend your time is more important, meaningful, the relationships. And that was really my motivation to get into entrepreneurship. It was like I wanted the chance to build something in my next decades of work, which I wasn't able to. I wasn't able to navigate the. It's not that I wasn't able. I was not. I didn't want to spend my time navigating the politics of corporate environments. So that was my motivation.
So did you just make the decision one day to stop that and start something else?
Yes and no. I think the decision was a little bit put upon me because, I was in this my last job was this $3 billion data analytics company, and their global head of digital marketing. And at that level, they were a private equity firm, came in and was just chopping the whole thing up, cutting it into pieces and business units, And, after a couple of years, after one of my big accomplishments, digital accomplishments for that business, basically they gave my job to a guy in California, through restructuring, things like that. It's like, thank you very much, but we're doing this. And that was definitely a catalyst, because I could have very well just got another job. But I think the thing is that I had seen these cycles in corporates. It's like they're seasons. Tony Robbins talks about the cyclical seasons of how history just repeats itself, and business also goes through that. You grow, then you outsource. You fire the internal teams, you outsource, and then you're spending too much money, so then you hire internal teams again, and then the people leave and they come and then they bring their friends, and it's all this kind of ever rolling cycle. And I just thought, you know what, time is too precious. Time is the most valuable asset we have. You're all about time and helping people leverage time. That's what it is. And I just thought, you know what, it's time to build and do something myself. Like, take the skills that I've been lucky enough to acquire over 30 years, on a high level of digital marketing and automation, and use it to help different types of businesses and learn more. I can absolutely say that I've grown as a person, but also as a business professional exponentially through entrepreneurship. Because you cannot be complacent. You have to develop yourself.
Yeah, so true.
Otherwise, you kind of you can just become irrelevant very, very quickly, or like not competitive. We're in ultra competitive fields at the moment, and the world is changing so fast, technology changing so rapidly. So it's just part and parcel of it, staying abreast, learning the next thing, the next tool, the next piece of strategic knowledge to stay competitive and be there and play in that environment. So I definitely didn't get that in the corporate environment. You don't get it's very rare. I won't say never, but it's very few and far between the times where you get the right education, right? The right training, like sales funnels, landing pages, email copy. Like, I was working where they were spending millions on campaigns, but the people doing these things, they didn't have the skills of like today's entrepreneurs to be able to really cut through the noise and do effective marketing campaigns. So it's been great. It's a fantastic journey.
So Leads Machine, which is the title of your book, and I feel like is one of the key areas why business owners don't focus on the fun stuff, don't enjoy it, because they just cannot get that flow of leads, like the machine in there. For me, that is one of the make or breaks of a business. Like, the quote on the front is from Daniel, is like, if you can't generate leads, nothing else matters, because everything's downstream from that, customers, cash, everything. So if we just delve into a little bit, because I think so many people listen to that, it'll either be feast or famine. You work on marketing, generates leads, you're then busy converting them, so then you neglect the top of funnel again, and it's just, I think that it's quite elusive for a lot of business owners. And so just delving into something like, I know you have the RED method in the book. Are there like some first guiding principles? Like, how do you go about starting to implement this and helping businesses get to this point of a leads machine?
Well, the leads machine, as outlined in the book, is a system, called the RED method. RED method, it's not the color, it really stands for RED, so roadmap, engine, and drive. And I put it into a system for every kind of lever, the roadmap. We have 3 accelerators, so it's 3 times 3 times 3. So all in all, 9 steps.
Okay.
And essentially, where it came from was that in our marketing systems, using any CRM, but also using high level at the core and running ads for businesses, many hundreds of businesses in the last 7 years or so, we found that the most successful businesses we worked with and we were able to implement successful marketing systems, we kind of did the same thing again and again and again. And after a while, it was time. It sounded like the right time. Felt like the right time to actually document that and say, well, how do we get your marketing to work, right? To be effective first and foremost, because most of the businesses that come and see me on that first discovery call, kind of say, I've tried this and that, but I kind of wasted my money on Facebook ads or Google ads, or I got some success. I worked with this agency and it didn't really produce what we were expecting. So they come to the conversation usually with a little bit of disappointment in what they were able to achieve. And more often than not, the reason is because they go to an agency or they try marketing themselves, but they've missed out on some fundamentals, some steps in the process. Number one accelerator in our roadmap lever. The roadmap helps businesses go from confusion to clarity. And the first step is knowing your market, having a real intimate knowledge of your market, your user personas, what makes them tick, what keeps them awake at night, with burning and sweating at night, kind of stressed and thinking. What are their frustrations, their dreams, hopes, desires? Where do they hang out? What magazines do they read? And documenting that and, interviewing their customers, or at least doing that deep research to hone in on the feelings and emotions and, most importantly, the state of awareness of their market. In terms of, do they know they have a problem? Are they aware of the problem? It's 2 different kind of people. And more often than not, businesses, they skip that step because they think they've been in business a while, they've been doing things organically, they've got to a certain level through their network and BNIs and coffees and lunches. But you're kind of going to stay there. Right. You're going to stay in that place unless you advertise. So there's a mindset shift in itself, which I talk about in the book. It's you don't have to advertise. But if you're the type of business that wants to scale online, you're going to be using paid ads. And in order to attract and convert those leads and not waste your money, you need to do the work on the avatar to ensure that you're putting your best foot forward with your messaging. So the second accelerator is your market message, that where you take all of those industry insights and craft your unique value proposition, your one-liner, your unique mechanism, which we encourage everyone to do, is really take what you do and brand it, right? Whatever it is that you're doing for people, come up with a name.
Like the transformation kind of thing, like where they take what they achieve for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, if you're a fitness coach, most likely you're helping people lose weight, right? Or, but more often than not, you'll have a way that you do it. You have a system and a method that you take people through, and then you call it your method. So it'll be the XYZ fat burning accelerator system. Right? Because people will, you can make your method yours. I mean, Leeds Machine, the red method, that's what I called mine, because we wanted people an easily recognizable name. But it stands out. It helps you differentiate yourself in the market.
And it like productizes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For me, it gives a real like weight behind what you're doing.
Absolutely. And no one else has it.
Yeah.
There you go. No
Yeah.
one else has got it. So there's a few core things that we recommend in the messaging, and we talk about how to craft your advertising message as well, the what's on the ads and the hook and the one-liners, and then putting all of that into a customer journey, right? So mapping out every stage of your sales funnels, how you're going to attract people, what are you going to do with them once you get their information, how you're going to help them understand what you do and consider them, nurture those leads, and all the way through to taking action and onboarding and retention and becoming your brand ambassador. So there's a different message and a different call to action and opportunity for the person at every different stage. And most people, I very, very rarely come across a business that has done that work.
I was just going to say, I mean, even the things that you're talking about there, I'm like, wow, like as if, so the transformation piece, the onboarding, like once you've got a client, I don't feel like a lot of people would weave that into the whole lead flow generation, the funnel. Like, I don't know anyone.
You can lose clients in your onboarding.
Yeah.
With a bad experience. Yeah. I mean, if you're whatever business you are, you get the money, then what's next, right? It doesn't end. That relationship is just starting, right? Because, later on in the accelerators, I talk about upsells and cross sells, and there's 4 ways to grow a business. You can get more leads, right? You can get more. You can increase your prices.
Yeah.
You can increase the purchase frequency as well. And if you can just improve those metrics at any one point, your business grows. Anyway, so I have 6 other accelerators in there. So we have the engine, so roadmap engine. In your engine is essentially your CRM, where you're going to make everything happen. It's your system that'll help you go from antiquated to automated, and capture, cultivate, and convert leads. So we talk about different forms of lead magnets and mechanisms to actually get people's data for the first time. We talk about Scorecard as well, Score app as a great way to help people, get more data on their market. Automate the nurturing, so develop relationships over time with your CRM. So mapping out, you can take the customer journey map and just say, all right, well, I'm going to pre-write and pre-plan the whole nurture journey and put it into High Level or Salesforce or whatever CRM. So it goes all year long, and you don't have to touch it.
And just in terms of the automating bit, because I feel like some people might think of automated and it doesn't sound specific, or it doesn't sound the same as getting someone on a call, which it's not. But can we just delve into a little bit about how good and converting an actual automated campaign can be? Like it's, I think, and it's clearly about the content that's in there. But.
Yeah, is your concern or question about how do you make marketing automation feel human,
Exactly,
and give it the human touch? Yeah, well, that's all about your copywriting.
Okay.
All about your copywriting. The value, are you giving people value, or are they just a newsletter, right? I guess the reality is that most marketing automation is just a newsletter every once in a while going, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's top of mind, but no one really cares. So again, you look at the pain points because you've done the research and the deep work, and you could put it on the wall that that person that you're speaking to. And the more personas you have, the better. Maybe a business will have 2 or 3 sort of key people that they're talking to. Being able to segment those in your CRM, which segmentation. People are not doing. They're they're blasting everybody with marketing emails. But, if you have male and female, you have different ages. People are going to be at different phases depending on what you're doing. Maybe people are different points. People have just discovered you on Facebook versus someone who's been in your funnel for 6 months, 7 months, and is struggling with X problem that you can solve. They should get different messaging.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? So you do that through tags and segmentations and filtering your list. And, it's a very, managing your CRM and keeping your data fresh, but using the data. Most businesses don't use the data that they've got.
Yeah.
They don't.
So tell us, because I don't think we are. So I've got a CRM, we use ActiveCampaign. There's a lot of people in it. Is everybody, apart from when somebody downloads a lead magnet, they've got a specific nurture campaign that follows that. But aside from that, everybody's getting the same stuff, really. So what kind of data are you talking about inside the CRM that people aren't using?
Well, it could be, let's take, a scorecard data, for example, which you have a lot of information about people's unique circumstances, right? That can be, just that data could be fed into a unique marketing campaign that just speaks to a particular problem that they've scored themselves a 5 out of 10 on some kind of problem. That's their problem, and you can customize that to them. I think, actually the AI capabilities now is really superseding what marketing automation can do, because when I talk about segmentation, that meant you needed to have maybe, multiple sequences for each kind of, for each segment, write all of the emails, use all the custom values to make it personal. But now, most likely, you can just use a custom field on a response on a form, feed that into OpenAI ChatGPT, and get your AI assistant to write to them as if it was a person. Like, hey, John, I see you talked about this on your form. Well, but we work with businesses and we can help with that. What else do you need? How else? And those conversations can happen across WhatsApp message or email or Facebook message. It can have real conversations now. So that's what we're doing with businesses and integrating AI into their marketing. So it's almost supersedes it's not a sequence, actually. It's not a linear sequence of messaging. It's actually real conversations with an AI that knows who you are and knows about your challenges. And can help educate you and send you to the right place.
And just on that AI piece, to what level of, so like the conversations that are happening back and forth, obviously there was the data from the scorecard, but in terms of what they're saying, their responses, like, I guess my question is, like, what level of pre-training, programming, formatting is that taking to get that flow? Because I guess there must be the odd occasion where the AI maybe a random question's asked and it doesn't get thrown off, or like how is that flowing?
Yeah, great question. The AIs usually get better over time,
For sure,
right?
Yeah.
But we're quite good at prompt engineering and setting up an AI to respond, and it's very, very unlikely that the response is going to be inappropriate. And on every setup of an AI for your marketing system, there's an element of designing the frequently asked questions and really doing the research on the customer and looking at all of the possibilities that might be relevant to make it more powerful. But a great prompt, it's all in the prompting. So the thing is that the AI is not necessarily there to give you a solution. That's what they then take the next step and pay the business for. But the AI at this point in marketing is definitely there to replace an SDR, like a sales representative, and
To
pretty
actually,
much eliminate, picking up the phone,
yeah,
answering the phone, answering the common questions.
to actually convert the sale or book an appointment for like a discovery strategy call with a human, or like to what?
Yeah, well, absolutely. For booking appointments, they work really, really well. For coaches, consultants, founders that need to say book onto webinars or discovery calls, that all happens over SMS and WhatsApp. Actually, because people don't even feel the need to get on the phone and speak to someone at that level. It's kind of like when your ticket value goes up maybe past £1,000, £2,000. It's sort of, it's when you have more questions, you want to speak to a real human, you'd pass that on to a closer, basically, or a business development representative. But the nurturing, all of the questions that people ask, the booking appointments, and depending on your lead volume, I mean, there's some businesses that have a lot of leads coming through every single day, like home services, trades. One of our clients is a £25 million trades business installing heating systems and boilers, and they're running about 100K a month on Google Ads.
Oh, wow.
And they have multiple websites and phone numbers, and they have the chat bots getting text messages. They have forms being submitted all the time, and they have a sales team of 5-6 people. And so the AI that we're able to put in place, kind of in the DNA of the system, is a sales enhancement tool. Right? So
it's doing the heavy lifting.
It's doing the heavy lifting first. So, how much is this? When can you start? What's the prices? What boilers are you using, etc. All of that back and forth before the lead says, okay, yes, I'm interested. Then someone can pick up the phone. They've had the full conversation, got the brochure, know what the business is, and they're pretty much ready to close. And so we've seen really great results in high volume of leads businesses.
And the thing is, everybody's at the same level, really, with AI, aren't they? I know there are experts. I mean, I had Lee Russell on the podcast the other week, and he is an expert. But generally, in the general population, everybody, we're all learning the same things. Like, AI is advancing so much, there is nobody. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at this period of time, we're all on a level playing field. We can all implement it the same way. That gap is going to increase quite drastically, I'm sure, over the coming years. But right now, like, it's so accessible for everyone, isn't it?
It is accessible, and it's interesting. I think it also raises some philosophical questions about the nature of work, and whether what is humanity going to be like if we all have access to intelligence for the price of a cup of coffee. All of those careers and people who studied for decades and got their PhDs to add value to the world and discover, and it amazes me, because we pride ourselves on being smart, and then increasingly get more reliant on OpenAI doing the thinking for us, or at least checking our thinking. We're using all of these different tools to be better at what we do, but at a certain point, the AIs are becoming more autonomous, right? So with the agents that can do the work, so inevitably, it's really interesting to think that it is. You're right when you say it's leveling the playing field for everyone.
And I think ultimately, you are right. Like, we're going to start just using them more, and then I think for a big proportion of the population, that will make them lazier, and they'll be doing less, and that will lead to God knows where. But for the other percentage of the population. It's actually just going to level them up to deliver more value, do more, lean into what they're really good at. Like the human of creativity, of gut feeling, of ideas, creation. And I know AI can do all those things, but I think as this starts to increase, people will absolutely, like, I want to speak to Francis. I don't want to speak to AI Francis. I want Francis's like expertise, and I feel like we're gonna even value even more like the human connection of, like, I know you're gonna have lots of AI in your business creating great shit, but do you know what I mean? As a connect, we're going to really want those connections even more. Like even in my business, like we've just recently flipped. We don't charge time for money anymore, and we're going all in on performance-based PA support. So our PAs now are about, like, what are your goals? What do we want to get done? How do we get there as quickly as possible using AI, being efficient? Because the old ways of just doing tasks for an hourly rate, or doing a task in a way it's always been done, or not being motivated to be quicker or more efficient, I'm fearful for those people that are just going to stay in the same way, because then it's like, well, gosh, we've had other options of like the Philippines and cheaper virtual assistants for ages, but now with AI, it's just going to be so easy to get the baseline done. But what I feel like what entrepreneurs are going to want is someone that knows how to put these agents in place and make it quicker and make it more efficient, because still, as founders, we can't do everything ourselves, can we? We can't learn all the options and all the prompting and all the AI as well.
Definitely. And on that point, I think the realization is that, we used humans and virtual assistants and staff members to help us complete hard tasks. Now we use AI to do those tasks.
And the things we don't like, those kind of tasks. Yeah.
And so the next challenge will be, how do we address the impossible tasks, using AI and tools like that. It's like the bar has been the bar to entry has been lowered to the point where now everyone can do. And AI can do the jobs that used to hire people to do. And so now our challenge as entrepreneurs is to solve impossible problems.
The bar's lowered down there, but raised up here, hasn't it? And that now we need to just actually be doing better work, solving bigger things. Totally agree. It's very like, it's weird times,
no pressure.
Isn't it? It's exciting times. It's all of the things. I think there isn't anybody that's not in the same boat going, what the hell does it mean to my business? And
it is exciting. I don't think I've ever been so excited about a technology, because what's really cool about AI is how it blows my mind nearly every day. I find something new. I'm sure we all use ChatGPT on a daily basis.
That's just the norm now, isn't it?
It's the norm. It's now become a normal tool, just like opening your phone. Right? But I'm always surprised at, like, oh, wait, hold on. Did you know ChatGPT could do that? Did you know you could just take a screenshot of your bank account and have it just analyze something for you? We're not, as humans, the crazy thing is that the technology is far surpassing so much. It's changing so rapidly, more than even a human knows how to use it.
Yeah.
And this is the key. Is like, we can't yet think of the applications that we could do even today, probably sitting in front of ChatGPT, because we're not that we're not there yet in terms of the evolution of our thinking process.
It is crazy how, even I remember when it first came out, it was like November time, wasn't it? Was it 2023? I remember Daniel did a webinar shortly after of like the implications and using it. And at the time it was like, and now like it's just become the norm, and that's in 18 months. So yeah, that's just going to speed up, isn't it? The kind of the way we're using it, the impact it has on our businesses all the time.
Yeah, and there's new tools all the time. And I think, like, in my business, I'm testing a lot of tools, like just to see, putting the money down. I will sign up, I will pay. I'm not stingy in that respect. Because you have to, you have to pay, and you have to go down this route and pay for the tools so that you can actually get the benefit of what's really possible. With the sites like lovable.dev that will just design your landing pages, even more than that. I designed an AI Elvis Presley for a show in London with lovable.dev as a demo. But I did it in a few hours, connecting my OpenAI key and telling Lovable exactly what I wanted and prompt. It took a good 3 hours of knowing how to prompt it and going back and forth, but it did the job. And it just makes you think, I didn't need a developer or a human, any other human, to do that. It did it for me in a few hours. So here we are in 12 months from now. I don't see that we'll be using coders in the same way to develop our websites and our digital products. We'll be chatting to an AI and just telling them what we want. So the disruption is fast and ferocious.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Because coding was always this is the big career, the big money, it's in demand, it's always going to be needed. It's crazy how that's flipped, isn't it, so quickly? Just on this point then of you talking about, you can get it to do landing pages, you can create all this amazing marketing stuff. What's your advice? What's your, to your clients, to people listening today now? Because it is so easy to create the landing page with AI, to create your nurture campaign with AI. But there is also, and you can already see it in people's, even on LinkedIn, God, every single LinkedIn post now created by ChatGPT has the line in it, but here's the hard truth. And then there'll be 3 bullet points and there'll be emojis and you can see it. They've all got the same. How are you, what's your advice? Because it's going to be very, it's congested already, the content, isn't it? And I feel like now everybody's a bit tired of, there's so much stuff. How do you make your lead magnet the one? How do you make your marketing now stand out?
Yeah, I have to. One of the most overused words for me in ChatGPT, I don't know if you've got it, is no fluff.
Yeah.
Does it ever say no fluff?
That
no fluff. Just no fluff. I hate it when it says no fluff, and then I tell it, don't use no fluff, and it will still use it. Is there something that ChatGPT loves to say no fluff?
Somebody's programmed that in there.
This isn't
AI,
fluff. This is 3 hours of real value. Well, okay, I have 2 answers to that. One, I have a humanizer GPT, which basically you copy and paste your AI copy into, and it will, behind the scenes, it will strip out all kinds of hidden and visible giveaway text, like the double dashes that it uses and things like that. So it will do a little bit of a job just to kind of humanize what you can see, but also AI copy does have some kind of digital watermark characters that if you copy and paste them and say into a Word document or onto a website, it can be detected as ChatGPT copy, and it's just a format, and so that kind of will strip it out. It still won't rewrite the copy for you, but I mean the solution is be a good copywriter and use it for ideas.
Yeah.
Typically, look, I hold my hand up. Have I ever posted AI ChatGPT copy? Yes. Most of the time, I will go in and tailor it and make it my own, because there are things that I just wouldn't say. There's a language that is just not my style, right? And that's really important. It's like, okay, you can use ChatGPT perhaps to craft the structure and get your point across, but then it's really important, go back into it and give it a once over.
Make it your own.
Make it your own. At least take that amount of time to make it your own. but sadly, it will get better, and it's going to be a problem. Well, a problem. I mean, importantly, what's important is that the messages get across,
Yeah.
and people can trust the messenger again.
Yeah.
But I think until then, this is the reality. It's like maybe we're going to become a dumber and dumber race of humans as AI gets smarter and we just get lazy.
Yeah.
I'm generalizing, but that's definitely a risk because I think there was a report that I saw. I think it was on the BBC YouTube channel just a few days ago about some AI report that came out by a think tank in the US. I don't remember the name just now, but it predicted that essentially AI would be taking most jobs by 2027, and that there would be this concept of universal credit.
Yeah, for sure.
That because AI helped the world evolve to such a sustainable and lucrative future through innovations and taking the jobs of human, that the governments would then have a surplus of money and funds, and everyone would be able to just not work, right? And then, but that was a precursor to then essentially taking over the human race. And they said that you have another 5 years before pretty much extinction happens, because what happens is that the AI, the AI basically starts to develop superior versions of itself.
Yeah, it just never stops improving.
Right, improving itself, and then you're not able to kind of restore the previous versions exactly, especially. So it's very interesting where this is all gonna go.
Yeah, interesting is the word. So we don't have very long left, unfortunately, but just on that, I'm just thinking, like, everybody is now a copywriter because they're using ChatGPT, and you said like they want to hear from credible sources. Would you say then that actually, I'm just thinking it through, like, is video then going to be one of the stronger places to, I mean, everybody at the moment's talking about community. That's going to be that's the new thing to attract now, is people that are like, I like what Francis stands for, what he's about. I want to be part of Francis's community, hearing from him. It seems to me that I feel like that showing up on video has to be one of the places now where you can differentiate, because everybody's just going to be putting out so much copy and content, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas video, I know you can create an AI video, but I mean, of yourself, like Daniel's doing a live now every day, I think, on Instagram with his rants, with his thoughts. Seems to me that's the place to head to.
Yeah, human connection, outdoor spaces, events where people can be together, see each other, touch, play. I think maybe this will all help us get back to what it means to be human again.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely, when social media came along and really advanced to a point where there's this oversaturation of just make-believe content that isn't real, like the perception of success.
Yeah.
And the ads going out and the pressure to be this and do that constantly, shaping people's reality and their perception of what is this human experience. You're seeing it through the lens of TikTok. You're seeing it through Facebook feeds and advertising. And for the longest time, and we still don't know what to do about it and to protect our children against, we've seen generations now grow up with this. There's clearly, mental health epidemic and problems. Communication, there are bad actors out there, pornography and pressure, and there's all kinds of things which are now accessible to children. And I have a 2-year-old, and so I'm kind of joining the club where this is now really a consideration. And maybe if the positive spin on all of this is that AI will just take care of all of the stuff we don't want to do.
Yeah.
And we can return to just being human and having fun and building relationships and staying connected with each other. And that would be maybe a positive outlook.
That is the outlook we need, Francis. That is the outlook we need. And the
AI will not take over the world.
Yeah, and the one to finish this podcast on. Yeah, most definitely. Francis, it's been so insightful, really amazing to chat to you. If people want to know more about how to leverage their systems, get proper marketing in place, get a leads machine, where can they find you?
Well, my book Leads Machine is available on Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk. Of course, you can look me up on francisrodino.com. If you have any questions, drop me a line. Don't be a stranger. And Emma, I want to thank you for the opportunity to chat with you and present my thoughts to your viewership.
I know you've been fab. Thank you so much, Francis.
Thank you.